What is up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. Sitting out here at this Meyer Distribution Center. My appointment was for 0430 and it's now coming up on 0800, so you know what that means. That means that free money's about to get paid. Ain't nothing wrong with no detention. Especially when you got a full clock that's not running down. Listen, I'll take that free money whenever I can get it. So, anyway, I pull in here this morning and, looking for my dock and everything, and there's a guy that's parking in the spot that I'm going to be parking next to. So, I park I pull up a couple spots down, and I'm thinking I'm going to get out, open up my doors, get the lock off, all that stuff that you do when you get to a dock. And when I get to the back of my trailer, there's a lumper out there, and he's telling me not to open up my doors because this guy's been trying to park for about 30 minutes in the spot right to the left of where I was going to be. And so take off my lock, leave the doors closed, get up in the front seat, and I'm just kind of waiting for him to park patiently, because if somebody knows about, everybody should remember those times when they first started driving, that the worst thing that can happen is when people start getting impatient and all that kind of stuff. So I just park there, wait patiently, let about 8-10 minutes go by, and then finally I just get out, and I could tell that he's got to be new. So I walk around, ask him if he wants me to help guide him in. So he's like, yeah. So, I try to guide him in, left, right, all this kind of stuff, and it's not working. So in the meantime, there's a guy that I'm parked in front of, because I'm parked in front of like about 8 trucks, and he starts honking his horn because I'm blocking him. Now, this guy's been sitting here watching this guy struggle for I don't know how long. Now, all of a sudden, he wants to get impatient. So I walk back to the guy and, I say, listen, I'm trying to get this guy in. Could you give us like 8 minutes, something like that? So he's like, yeah, hurry up if you can. My clock is running, all this kind of stuff. So I'm like, okay. So walk back up there, and the guy's like seriously frustrated. So didn't fit the demographics of a new driver. He looked older than me. So anyway, I asked him, what, you want me to just get it in? So, he's like, yeah, if you could, I'd appreciate it. So, get the truck backed in real quick and everything. And then, not that I'm no super truck or anything like that, but got in there real quick, and then got my truck in and backed into it. But one thing I'm going to tell you, something that I definitely take for granted is the equipment that Prime has. I was in his truck trying to back his stuff up, and the steering wheel was all kind of like, it would be like tight, and then it would like slip a little bit, so the steering was like kind of a little weird and everything. And it was just a bad feeling truck all around. And tried to lower the air seat, the seat in the air. I tried to lower the seat, and it was like you'd lower it to where you'd want, but then it would go down further than that. Anyway, it definitely made me appreciative of the equipment that we're driving here at Prime. This was probably, I didn't look at the miles or anything on it because I was trying to hurry up and get it in, but I would imagine it had to be about a 2015 Freightliner with probably 700,000, 800,000 miles on it, if I was to venture a guess. But it just felt good to be able to help somebody else out. I had recently been in a situation in Colton, California, and it wasn't much of a different backing scenario than this. But if any of you guys have been at that Colton Walmart distribution center, you know that if you're parked on those first rows that come in, a lot of times there's trailers parked out in front of that, and depending on what night transportation has going on at the time, sometimes they have their trucks in front of it. So I was in a situation where I was, trying to back into a spot, and it was super tight because this truck was in front of my space and everything, and there's just not a more helpless feeling when you're trying to back into something that's hard and nobody's there to help you. Now, fortunately, in my case, there was a guy that was actually a super trucker. He'd been driving for a long time, because we had a conversation after that, and he was helping a few people get into spots, because there were a few of these night trucks out there, and he just would help one person, boom, move down to the next person, help them back. And I mean, that, so ever since I saw that guy going out of his way, I said, you know what, I'm going to try to do everything I can to make life easier on other people in those situations. Now, it's sometimes hard, because as a new driver, sometimes you don't feel comfortable helping somebody that may or may not have more experience than you and things like that. So this was an obvious situation where I didn't feel too uncomfortable about asking him if he needed any help, or that he was going to bite my head off or anything like that. So I think one thing I could have learned from that situation at that Walmart, and with this situation here with this guy trying to back, is, there are plenty of guys in their trucks that were just sitting in the front seat. Maybe just asking right off the bat, if they could help spot you, or, whatever the situation is, might cut down on some of that frustration level. But anyway, I have have a full clock, full 14, full 8, full 11, full everything. So they did just get the green light on. I'm waiting for them to bring my documents. So hopefully after I get those documents, I will be taking a look at my next load assignment that is not going to be up in the Northeast. Actually, if it could be in the Northeast. I just need to tell my fleet manager, if I'm going to the Northeast, I need to have a pre-plan or a deadhead or something that I could do right after that load's delivered. I just can't sit up there and get unloaded and have to get out of the place and then find another place to park. And depending on the time of day, that could be a whole different other issue. So if I could be pre-planned, like before I actually drop the load and everything, that would cut down a lot of the headaches that go along with dealing with that Northeast. Anyway, hey, I'd like to thank you guys for stopping by No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. I do appreciate it. Comment, subscribe, and I'm out.